Action.
So guys, you see when you think nurture being, just think of like a one-stop herbal shop, you know? Where you can go, you can get your herbs, the skincare herbs, you can get your herbs, the internal care. We have things for the blood, for the heart, for the lungs, for the stomach. We have for if you have spotty skin, the skin dehydrated. You see, women, your vagina itch, we have something for you. You have tenderness, when you are overlaid, we have something for you. Hormonal imbalance, we have something for you. Men with the limp dick, we have something for you. Your face bumpy, and you need something to clean up the blood, we have something for you. You know? Your kidney, your liver non-function, we have something for you. Your skin dry and scared, we have something for you. You don't know what to eat, you're not sure how to eat or what to eat, we have something for you. Same it. So every single thing you can think of, we have something for you. So when you're thinking about complete nutrition in terms of medicinal part and stuff, just think nurture being. Trust me. Nurture being? Yeah. Our one-stop herb shop.
Yeah, so the goal is basically we want persons to see natural medicine as a viable alternative. And so when they see us use these herbs and get results in the time frame that we get them, to them, that's magic. It's unbelievable. It had supernatural abilities. And in order to do this, they use plants. Obia law. The Obia law was an attempt to submerge our people from utilizing the knowledge of plants, because they realize that our knowledge of plants, our knowledge.
Yup, this video is going to make you forget everything that you think you know about bush doctors. For deep in the green heart of Portland, Jamaica, there's a man they call Dr. Ben. But he's not your average herbalist. He's a scientist of the soil. A healer who speaks the language of plants like second nature. He doesn't guess. He knows what your body needs down to the molecule. Now, this isn't folklore. This is an ancestral intelligence backed by real science. And don't get it twisted. Herbal medicine didn't start in labs. It started with us. So I welcome you to Dr. Ben's Healing Center, where anybody in the world could go to and experience real ancestral-based healing methods. And oh yeah, did I tell you that he's also starting a healing and wellness retreat way up in the mountains of Portland? Yeah, you're gonna want to check out the next video for that as well. Just see the links in the description. And remember, subscribe.
Welcome to the Hallelujah Lifestyle Wellness Center. All right, so here we have two facilities. We have what is our clinic and we have our apothecary. So I'm going to show you what our clinic looks like, and this is the setup model, because anything we do, we create a model. So this is a model for all our clinics that we have elsewhere, and we have one in St. Thomas, and we work out of one in St. Anne. So let me just show you what it looks like.
So this is a place where you can get natural healing.
Yes.
A place where you can come and get herbal healing.
Yes.
And even lifestyle recommendations.
Right. So this is a clinic which is kind of like our screening center. This is where we screen persons, and then we do offer some therapeutic services here, but very limited, because what we normally do is retreats. So we do assessments here, products are available here, and some treatments are available here, but it's limited. So I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay.
All right. So, sorry. So this is our nurses station, where persons come in, register, get their vitals checked. So from the nurses area, we have two consultation rooms. This is my wife's consultation room. And as you can see, we do have a bed. So as I said, we do some services. It's wide to tell you what we do, but we do a lot of services here, all right? So we do some therapeutic services here. And then, this is our consultation area.
But this looks really official for a herbalist setup, someone who deal with indigenous plants. And now, get the body back to get the body back to its regular conditioning. This looks really good. You don't really see herbalists with, infrastructure like this.
Yeah, so the goal is basically we want persons to see natural medicine as a viable alternative. Not just an alternative that's a last resort, but we want persons to see it as a viable alternative to what else is out there. So we try to be on the same comparable standards, if not higher, than what a person would be accustomed to when they go into Western medicine facility. So this is basically what that setup is like. So we have one consultation area here. This is my wife's consultation area. We use what is called a quantum assessment, which is a type of energy machine. So we use this machine to do what we call assessments. And this basically assess the state of person's health. And this now guides us as to what intervention protocol persons may need in order to get them back on track.
Okay, why you said energetics though, right? I think that's really unconventional. Why is it important to use energetics, or explain that a little bit?
Well, we are electrical beings. We are powered by energy. We are powered by electricity. So usually when something is wrong, it's usually on our circuit board. We are biological electrical beings. So when something is wrong, because of that, there's usually something wrong on our circuit board. This machine allows us to understand our circuitry. It's the same concept, just different terminologies that are used in medicine. But we understand that we are bioelectrical beings. So this assessment machine allows us to assess persons' system. So we look at the body in terms of systems. So there's 12 major systems that governs the body. And once a person has failing or declining health, it's usually based on a decline in one or two or more of those specific systems of the body. So once you're able to determine what the cause of the decline is, we are able to use therapy, sometimes supplements in the form of herbs or vitamins to correct that, in addition to lifestyle adjustment for a permanent state.
Those certificates?
Yes. So I went to Sandy Hill Institute of Natural Medicine. So I did a bachelor's in naturopathy as well as a doctorate in naturopathy.
So is this how you learn most of your information? Or?
Funny enough, no. I learned most of what I know. This was the foundation. This provided a strong foundation. A lot of what I know comes from the actual traditional healers that I've encountered in my journey. So because what I found is that a lot of the traditional healers, even though they are gifted and able to do what they do, they don't know how. So the school provided the firm foundation for me even to explain to them how what they are doing works. Yeah, but most of what I've learned is from my journey and interaction with persons. Sandy Hill only provided the foundation for me to understand to interpret what I've been exposed to on my journey.
They say life is the lesson.
Yeah, life is a lesson. So because of that, most of what we do is not theoretical, it's practical, it's based on results.
Right.
Yeah. Right. All right, so this is the other office. This is my office that we use too. This is called a medical grade ozone machine. And this alone, ozone. So we use this ozone therapy. And this alone has a myriad of application. All right. If I were to go into what we were able to do, some of what we're able to do, persons would think that, we're just inflating things. But we can do a lot.
You sound more like a scientist. You're a herbalist and a scientist.
Well, all herbalists are scientists. It's just that in natural medicine is an art as much as it is a science. So I'll tell persons, most persons who are artists, even though they don't know, most persons who are artists are also healers. They just haven't ventured into it. Some of them, so most musicians, most pianists, most painters, most visual artists. Well, most artists are also healers because it's the same frequency. It's most healers operate on what I call the sixth sense, which is the sense of intuition. So a person who is artistic is mostly inclined to use their intuitive part of them. It's the same thing that as healers that we use. So it's developed. So because you're a musician, once you develop, you learn to develop that part of your body or that part of your being to function as a musician. It's the same thing you do in order to function as an artist. So it's as much a science as it is an artist. However, in traditional medicine, because they haven't spent that much time in the science, even though they're able to do things, you'll find that a lot of healers are able to do things, but when they explain it, it doesn't sound scientific.
Right.
Yeah? So what I've done is my background is in the sciences. So I spent a lot of time in the sciences. So what I try to do is to be able to understand and to explain what I do scientifically. And that is deliberate because one of my goals is to get more practitioners, more medical doctors, more persons who work and who are more inclined scientifically to want to come over to what we do, because what we do produce results. But it's just that it's not explained scientifically. It lacks certain rigor of scientific integrity. So a lot of times it is seen as a sham, and most persons would not even be interested because it doesn't sound intellectually or scientifically sound.
So essentially then what you're saying is that somebody could tell you what's going on with them. You can say, okay, use this plant. And then you can say, use this plant because of these plant constituents, because of these plant actions, herbal actions.
Yes.
You could say, this is why you're using this plant.
Yes, and as a herbalist, it is our job, it's our responsibility, because most medical doctors are not trained in phytochemistry. They're trained in the chemistry of natural chemicals, or synthetic chemicals, I should say. So because they're mostly trained in synthetic chemicals, they know that, they understand that. Well, my job is to help them to find alternative to synthetic chemicals, which is found in plants. Because a lot of times, medical doctors, well, they know, Western medicine started out using natural chemicals, but then there was no money in that. There was no patent possibilities. So they went into synthetic forms and also extractions from natural plants, which they could patent.
Sometimes I often have a sixth sense, like you said, intuition, spidey senses, right? And right now my spidey senses is tingling, almost as if there's another presence somewhere over here. There's somewhere over here.
Hi guys, I'm here just taking in Dr. Ben. It's so informative. And I didn't want to be in the shots. I was just hiding behind the door.
But you can't escape my third eye.
That's right.
So yes, it's a good walkthrough. I know I'm gonna enjoy his presence. And when you come here, you're gonna enjoy the assessments, and you're gonna be so in love with the different remedies and solutions that are available here. So y'all need to come here.
So true, so true. Dr. Ben, is conventional medicine and conventional science now starting to tap into the knowledge of the herbs, or are they starting to now test these plants that culturally we've been saying is good for this and good for that? Are they now starting to check, validate it?
Well, they've always, we can remember, Western medicine was and is based on natural medicine. So it's not no, they've always sent explorers, they've always sent researchers into the Amazons and into different forests to search. But the reason why they search is that they are trying to find chemicals that they can understand and then create synthetic versions of, number one. And then number two, chemicals that they can find to extract from plants. Okay. So their studying of natural medicine is not to use it. It is to manipulate it and to exploit it to their advantage. All across the globe, they have exploited healers such as Mary C. Cole, all of these persons who have worked phenomenally.
Okay. So basically, a lot of what they know is accredited to what they observed from our ancestors.
From our ancestors. So even though they would want it to appear as if we're not scientific, even though they would want us to appear as if we're not scientific, we are, to our core, we are a scientific person. If you take us, and I'm not saying us, I mean people of African descent or African origin, there's something about our melanin, there's something about our DNA, there's something about the way we think. And I was saying to somebody that even the word human, hue means color and shades of a color. So even the human race is defined by the amount of melanin that you contain. And it is considered by Johns Hopkins University that the more melanin you have is the more powerful you are. It affects the amount of light that we can see, spectrum of light that we can see, the sounds that we can hear, and even affect the way we think. So if you take us and put us into any jungle, because of that, in a very short period of time, we're able to connect with the plants, and very quickly we're able to identify foods, and we're able to identify medicines.
Is this how the Maroons also was valiant in their victory? Is this how the Maroons fought? Is it because of this plant knowledge?
Yeah, and I tell persons that a lot of times we don't give credit. The Maroons were victorious in their struggle against colonialism because of plants. The reason why they were never conquered, the reason why they were successful, was that within their strategy of battle, within their strategy of fight, they somehow convinced their enemy that they had supernatural abilities. And in order to do this, they used plants. So people didn't fear Nani or the Maroons because they were just strategists. They were persons who these were persons who had very advanced scientific knowledge of plants, and they used that advanced knowledge to their advantage to convey superhuman-like abilities. So, for example, the Maroons would know, for example, which plant to put in the river to turn the water red, to say that they had the power to turn water into blood. They knew which plant they could add to the water to call the animal life or the fish life to float, to sink, to be stunted, to tell persons. They knew which plant to eat. They know how to use plants to camouflage. They invented the camouflage. So they knew how to use the science of nature to their advantage. And this was what even triggered what we call the Obia Law. The Obia Law was an attempt to submerge our people from utilizing the knowledge of plants, because they realized that our knowledge of plants, our knowledge of the science of the use of plants, was why they couldn't conquer us. So plants and herbs have played a pivotal and important role in our deliverance from slavery.
That's pretty cool. This essentially shows that we're all one, because in Haiti, they were doing the same thing, and they called it voodoo. And in Haiti, they won that revolution, right? In Benin, same thing they're doing with plants, and they call it voodoo. So you're saying it's not really dark magic. What it is ancient ancestral cultural practices that gives us strength, and allows us to fight, physical battles as well. Right? We don't need a gun, but we do need our spirits, our culture.
Right. So some of it may be dark magic, because we can't avoid that, but a lot of what was called dark magic was actually the knowledge of herbs that was misunderstood. A lot of what is called obia, a lot of what people fear, even up until now, anything that looks like African spirituality is filtered negatively or avoided. And that's something that as a people, we have to change. We have to change that narrative. We have allowed our colonial masters to give us the lens that we use to interpret and to define our reality. And really and truly, it was based on their fear. It was to our power and to our advantage, but it was based on their fear. So we allowed them to use their fear to define how we define our reality.
Okay, so let me clarify then. Would you say that dark magic is what the oppressors experienced, but it's not what we experience collectively as a group, because we use that magic to benefit each other primarily. But when it comes to an oppressor, then now we use that same magic to resist.
Yes. And when I say that, now, if I took up a phone, and called somebody, in that age, it would be considered to be dark magic. So a lot of what we practice now, a lot of what we do now, would be considered to be magic then, because the technology, the principles were not understood. And so people tend to mislabel what they don't understand. So a lot of what was defined as obia, for example, when somebody has like a flu, and they couldn't understand, oh, you could get a herb, and they would not just get a herb, they would tell you, okay, you have to get a herb at this time. And they didn't understand why it was that specific time. They didn't understand those signs, and you had to prepare it a certain way and give it to the person, and the fever would be broken. Because where they are from, they have to take medicines for a long period of time to get that result. So to them, I can understand, it would be considered to be magic. Yeah, it's easy to understand. It would be considered to be magic. When somebody's on the brink of death, a lot of the tropical and subtropical diseases that the colonizers contracted. In our culture, because we are tropical and we're from the tropical and subtropical zones, we have a very good knowledge of the use of those plants. They're from the frigid zone, they don't know. And so when they see us use these herbs and get results in the time frame that we get them, to them, that's magic. It's unbelievable. It's unheard of. Even by their most advanced scientists and medical practitioners, these are not the results that they get. So they say, this is magic. We have to ban this. If we allow these people to practice what they know, there's no way we can overcome them. Yeah, and so that, if it is that we use something to overcome and to defy the odds of being captured, then, why have we allowed them to convince us, for the most part, that even after so-called independence, we are not taking advantage, we're not using these materials to our advantage? Sure. That's the question I ask, and that's why
the debate is something to think about.
Yeah. And that's why this medicine is so important.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We got to preserve it. All right. So this constitutes our clinic, our therapeutic physical part of our structure, our physical infrastructure. Now let's look on the other side of what we do.
All right, guys, Nurture being here. And I just wanted to say that we're actually expanding our healing by trying to set up a healing center, a place where you guys could come in,
learn to eat, learn proper cultural practices for maintaining your health, just learning the correct ritual on how to maintain the home with good health, how to maintain your kids with good health, good herbs, how to eat, when to eat, right?
And you guys can now see the herbs that are going to do the work, where you guys can now learn how to utilize and to even identify the herbs that are going to do the work. So what we're doing is that we're focusing on YouTube as a way to generate these funds. We also ask that you guys subscribe to our Patreon. In our Patreon, we have Herbal Talks, right? We show behind the scene access or content with our blogs and our videos. We talk history. We talk hidden history. We talk metaphysics. It's a whole university back there in the Patreon. So
I am the Neb Sorcerer Supreme, and this is an emergency broadcast. You see, humanity indeed is awakening, and many are tapping into their spiritual abilities. But there exists to be opposition. Opposition in the form of global elites, world governments, and the puppet masters who control them. These puppet masters have also placed the hex on your mind. Yes, you have been brainwashed, programmed, and controlled throughout your whole existence. And this goes especially for the black race. You are the race that has suffered immensely. You are the race that has forgotten your identity. Yet, you are the race full of love. You are the race of melanin that continues to smile during the darkest of times. But again, the hex is on your mind, and it is here on the Melanin Matrix channel, where both the black gods of this planet, as well as the other races, shall discover the truths of reality, history, and themselves. Yes, that's right. You will see the signs to your spiritual awakening. You will come across information that were intentionally hidden from the history books. You will learn of sound, frequency, and dark matter energy. You will fully grasp what are secret societies. Now, I leave it to you, my fellow gods, to help this channel grow, for we will wake up.
So Joshua is our apothecarist.
Yes. Okay.
So he's the person who prepares the herb, source them, sometimes personally or indirectly. He sources the herb, then he processes them, and then he makes most of the medicine.
Right. So who taught you how to? You're the man that got the knowledge of where to source the plant from the earth.
Well, everything I've learned it from my dad, you know?
That right there?
Yeah, man, he's been behind pushing me along the way, so I give him all the praise for that, you know?
So how did your brain explode? Because the amount of information that comes from this man.
The thing is, I don't know, you have to be in the field. It seems hard, but being in it and dealing with herbs, it's like learning the ABC. Yeah, because I've found myself at times where persons are asking me questions about a certain herbs, and I think I know a lot about the herbs. And when they start asking me certain questions, I can't find the answer, because one herb, it has so many different healing benefits, so many different things that one herb can do. So at times, it's always still a learning process with herbs. Even when you think you know everything about this herb, always a learning. So person's gonna always have questions, and I'm still learning. I'm not even close to what the knowledge he has, but I still can jump around. You know, do my thing, you know what I mean?
So this is Dr. Ben's daughter. So
Hello.
Music. Your name's Music?
Yes, that's my name. My name is Music.
That's a pretty name.
Thank you.
I think you're the first Music I ever met.
Yeah. Ever. I think there's only 2 persons with that name. Me and another artist. I think it's a label company or something like that, somewhere in Canada or somewhere there.
Sweet like a melody.
Sweet like a melody.
Okay. So this is a family business.
Yes, it is.
Yes, my wife is involved.
Called consultant.
It's my granddaughter. She's always here.
Yeah.
There she is.
Look at the little one coming.
No free ride.
Yeah. All right. So you guys share the knowledge. Now it's basically a family that's healing everybody. Essentially. Right.
Right.
Okay. So what is it that you do?
So what I do pretty much of everything. So I work in the office, I work in the dispensary area, and then since of recently, I have launched my skincare company by the name of Yardicents. You can follow us on all socials at Yardicents. Cater to skincare, persons with acne skin, psoriasis, persons with, a wide variety of skin blemishes or skin problems. So that's something that I have been venturing in. There's so many herbs that cater to the skin, so many herbal remedies that help with, skin conditions, but persons don't know about them simply because they resort to medical physicians or, dermatologists with a lot of chemicals that after a while it, cause, other damages. So herbs are holistic healing. There is a lot that you can do with herbs, so if you are using something on your skin, it should not only be used outside, but if you can ingest it, then that does internally, then you should know that, this isn't something that I should be using. So as long as you can ingest that, medicine, then it should also be good enough to use on your skin. So that's what a lot of, that's something that persons need to know.
So it's about the internal health,
right?
The external,
right? Okay. Most definitely.
All right. So we have one member of our team who is not here. Our products are predominantly divided into 5. What we call them types or 5 groups. So we have what is called our decoctions, and we have our tinctures, we have our capsules, we have our oils and salves, and we have our teas. So those are the 5 modes of delivery that we focus on as it relates to our herbal products. And then here is Joshua's domain. Small, but for now, just for now. So this is pretty much where we do our processing. So herbs come in here like, what is this? Is dandelion root. So
my job is basically to turn this into produce.
Right. So it comes in from the harvesters, then we wash, process, and dry. So when it comes in, we wash it, clean it, and then we dry it. And then from drying, it goes back inside there. And then we either determine, the base where we would have known which form it is going to be dispensed in, which modality, whether it's going to be a tincture, tea, oil, a salve, or a capsule. So this basically covers
part 1, step number 1, happy practice.
Yeah. So basically, we're a small setup, small company. So there are times when we have to be innovative and create some of the tools that we use. So this is an example of that. So this is what we call a mixer. So for example, if you're gonna make a herbal compound, let's say a capsule, and it has multiple herbs in it, what we will do is that we will bring the herb to a powdered state. Right? Powder, I'm not sure what we use to powder that. And then once this powdered, and all the powders are added to this, then we use this to basically mix the powder. So the herbs are evenly distributed within the formula. And notice we use glass because most of our is either stainless steel or glass that we use where there is no possibility for the chemical interactions to take place to contaminate the quality or affect the quality of the product. So this is our pulverizer, and this pulverizer, there are many pulverizers out there in the market, but herbs has 2 enemies. 2 enemies that herb has is light and heat. So even in the pulverizing of the herb, we try to use a pulverizer that doesn't use heat. What happens is that the herbs will be crushed along the side. So this pulverize the herbs by crushing it, and then we have different what we call screen that we can use to give us different size. We have screens that are very small that allows the herbs to come out as a powder. Because the smaller the herb particle size is, the more surface area or is the more herb that we will get in a capsule. So to improve effectiveness, this is what we use to pulverize. So from pulverizing the herbs, then it is cooled, then it is added to a mixer, and then we mix it so that we can get even distribution. So when we
this looks something.
This was also made by us. So this was we made this basically. Let me show you. So when we make our tinctures, remember the alcohol is in the herb is in the alcohol, and we need to get all the liquid out. So after draining it, we can now bring the plant matter, and we can use this to additionally squeeze everything out. So we get a dry plant matter, so we get everything out.
So you put it right here. Oh, you put a bowl here.
Yeah, we put a bowl here, and we'll put the plant matter in a cloth bag, what they would call what they call that bag, like a
cheesecloth.
Cheesecloth bag, and we'll press it, and that allows us to get all the alcohol out, so all the tincture comes out. So believe it or not, you can get up to
yourself.
Yeah, we invented this. So I basically brought it to.
Invented this yourself.
Yeah, I invented this.
And you invented this yourself.
I invented that. Yeah, so necessity is the mother of inventions. So we need it, and we don't have the money to buy it. So guess what? We have to make it. There's a way. So these are some of the tools that we use in our production. And we invented this too. We invented this dryer. Yeah, this is a dryer that we invented.
Also invented that.
Yeah. So we invented this one. We also invented this
grinder. So these big, huge stalks.
Yeah. We're gonna use this to cut it up.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this makes it easier for the other machines to pulverize. Right. So we have to develop a lot of what we need, the tools that we need to make the work easier, while it's at the same time not affecting the quality of the product or affecting the plant itself. All right, so that's a quick tour of our facility here at the Hallelujah Lifestyle Wellness Center. This final section is a dispensary where after the product is made and labeled and recorded, this is where it finally ends up, where it will be made available to our clients. So for persons who have any type of health condition, you can reach out to us. Our telephone number is 309-4783 or 876, and that's of course 876, so that's 876-309-4783 or 876-831-9697. We're also online at icmwellnessmarketplace.net. So we have a wide variety of products. Not everything that we make is on the shelf here. We have over 200 different products, that is used to correct a wide range of health issues, ranging from internal to topical ailments. So you've got to just reach out to us and let us know if we possibly have something that might help you with your ailment.
Okay, thank you.